And so I believe that Yong Wee Kong, 21-year-old this year, right? He has that innate ability inside to change if given a chance. Would we want to give him a chance? So I would like to call upon our president, Mr. S.R. Nathan, a trained social worker, to oppose the death penalty, because that is his responsibility as a social worker. And also to grant clemency to Yong Wee Kong, who has been sentenced to death by the Singapore courts for drug trafficking, and to give him a chance. And now, Mr. S.R. Nathan, you as the head of state, you have that power to give this boy a chance we are asking for. And we social workers here at the ground, we are willing to work with him for reformation and redemption.
I'm here speaking on behalf of Marua, which is a human rights group, and it gives our group, all of us, we are very happy to support the work of Ravi, Lucy Davis, and all other volunteers and Zealand on this Singapore anti-death campaign, anti-death penalty campaign. And listening to Agnes as a social worker, for those who do know a little bit more about the kind of work I do, I think Agnes has really broken new ground today. It is very rare to get a social worker to stand up and be an advocate in public. We get a lot of social workers doing beautiful work as direct service providers, but it is not easy to get a social worker to be an advocate, and on top of that to come and stand up and talk about where social workers stand with regards to the death penalty. So I think it is an amazing achievement. And this is what the next point I'm bringing. I think this is such a difficult campaign that people like Ravi and all started in the year 2005. And you have seen the images that were put up. They were one characteristic that is running through the cases. Tochi was 18, he was a late teenager. Now we have a 21-year-old. They are men in their very early prime. They're in the prime of their life. They make mistakes. We cannot, on one hand, I will not quite agree with making them into heroes. They are folks who have made a blunder, but for that blunder, right, do they have to pay with such a huge price? That is what this discussion is about. We are not saying, we are not erasing the criminal record. We are not saying that that blunder is actually a positive thing. What we are saying here is that how we deal with their blunder is what is unacceptable. And I just would like to take it a little bit more from what Agnes has put on the table. Who are these individuals? Their backgrounds. What kind of work, what kind of home background do they come from? What are the challenges that they have faced? What kind of peers did they move around with? Who was there to guide them from whatever path that they were taking? These are circumstances that are very important in a credit card fraud, right? Where amid Singapore, it will become mitigating circumstances. You will have parents standing guaranteed to say, I will watch over this person. It's a mistake. We will make sure that this doesn't happen again. There is responsibility from adults who are willing to stand by the person. These young people and others whom we have hanged, what makes us think that they wouldn't have had a family to stand by them, that they wouldn't have had social workers who are throwing the gauntlet down to say we want to rehabilitate such folks, that they wouldn't stand by such folks to give them a second chance again? Because when we execute, it is, as we all know, the final moment, and it is over. There is no second chance. So this is the tragedy that we are dealing with. It is a tragedy because it There's no U-turn on this tragedy. It's only a one-way street to the end. And we, for so long, we have lived with this. What is Singapore's record? It's about 20 hangings or so per year. We are among one of the highest world record holders on this issue of the number of people that we have sent to the gallows. And most of it, the majority of it, is because they are drug traffickers. But if we don't have the data to do a profile on who are these drug traffickers, but all the anecdotal incidents that we do know show, as has been discussed, young men, or in some cases women, not very well-off backgrounds, right? And do we ever catch the kingpin behind the drug trafficker? It's all part of a syndicate. Yeah? This is your little runner. Your syndicate is still loose, perhaps rich, perhaps living off on the earnings of all these runners. It is a deterrent, yes. People should know that they shouldn't be doing such things. Look at all of us. We know a lot of things too. I know that I shouldn't park my car just outside Oxford Hotel. I do know that. But we will take chances from time to time. Sometimes we really take a big gamble and we pay for it with our own lives. So if we want to be so lenient with ourselves, why is it that we are stopping short when it becomes a case when somebody's life is on the line? The next part about the tools. In addition to that, Article 10 of the same convention says, all persons deprived of their liberty shall be treated with humanity and with respect in the interest of dignity of the human being, right? So even if we haven't signed it, we talk about it in many ways in Singapore, dignity of the individual, we talk about it. What does that mean to someone who has already been put on death row? How have we even tried to make life a little bit better for such individuals? I thought it was really heart-rending when Lucy told me a few years ago about how the late Shanmugam, the family could not even touch him. It was through the glass window that you put your hands on one side of the glass and he puts his hand on the other side, and that's the final goodbye. Surely we can do better than this. This guy is gone. This is your last touch. It's beyond any notion of humanity, that one. It's totally incomprehensible to me. Why is it that we cannot do more even as we continue with this mandatory death sentence? The second thing about it, how long do they live on death row? There are instances in other countries, like in Malaysia, someone being on death row for 15 years. What is our number? You know that in Singapore it's very hard to get statistics, data on anything. How long is our longest guy there on death row? What does that do for an individual? Can that be commuted to life imprisonment? It's already long enough. How long is long? Must it really end after 15 years in an execution by the state? If let's say you've been on death row for 15 years, is that good enough? If I'm a drug trafficker, can society trust me to come out and live in society when social workers are lining up to rehabilitate me after 15 years? Come on, I think we really have to review our approach. The third thing is the family. I have always wondered, and I never used to wonder this until the Shanmugam's case. How do we expect, for example, the children, the family, to live with an execution at that level in your home? How do you? I really don't know, because you will see a photograph and what is the first thought that will come into your head? And how do you live with that? And you know that very few people amongst us have stepped up to ask, can we not do it this way? Can we do it another way? Right? And I think we have to think about those families, the children from such families. Are we giving them even a chance to get on a better keel?